Welcome back, everyone, to Everything AI. Thanks for tuning in.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really going to get into something that I think is on a lot of people's minds. Artificial intelligence and what it actually means for our jobs, for the future of work. Is it about AI replacing us, or is it more about redefining what work even looks like? That's what we want to explore.
Yeah, it's a huge topic. You see it everywhere in the news, right? And there's these big reports, Goldman Sachs, World Economic Forum.
Those numbers, yeah. Hundreds of millions of jobs potentially affected.
And exactly, affected. And that's, I think, the really crucial word we need to dig into. It doesn't automatically mean eliminated.
Right. Because we've been here before, haven't we? With big tech shifts.
We have. Think about the Industrial Revolution or even the internet popping up. Lots of disruption, lots of anxiety about jobs disappearing them too.
And sure, some jobs did change or go away, but then whole new things appeared. New industries, new roles we couldn't have imagined.
But this time, well, it does feel a bit different, doesn't it?
How so?
It's the reach. AI seems poised to step into areas that, well, we always thought were purely human. Knowledge work.
You mean like writing, coding, even law or medicine?
Precisely. Tasks needing cognitive skills. But that's sort of the new frontier here, and why I think the anxiety feels maybe a bit more intense this time around.
Okay, so let's lean into that anxiety for a moment. The fear factor. These reports mention massive impact. What kind of work are we really talking about as being, let's say, most directly in the path of this change right now?
Well, if you look at what AI is really good at today, it's tasks that are repetitive but cognitive.
Okay, like what?
Processing huge amounts of data very quickly, handling standard customer questions, generating sort of basic functional code, doing the first pass on legal documents, sifting through them, optimizing logistics based on existing patterns.
So things that follow rules or patterns mostly?
Yeah, largely. That's where AI often provides a big jump in speed and efficiency right now.
Can you give us some job titles? Like who does that kind of work primarily?
Sure. Think about data entry roles. Or customer service reps who mainly handle predictable queries. Chatbots are already taking some of that on.
Right.
Maybe junior coders writing boilerplate stuff. Paralegals doing that initial document review I mentioned. Logistics planners who are mostly applying set formulas. These are areas where AI can definitely augment the work, or maybe even automate specific parts of it quite significantly.
Okay, that makes sense. It's clarifying the high-risk category, perhaps.
Yeah.
But what about jobs that seem, well, safer? Less likely to be taken over wholesale by an AI.
Right. So you look for skills that are still, very human, at least for now. Things like high-level emotional intelligence.
Like therapists, counselors, people dealing with complex human emotions.
Exactly. Or jobs needing really fine-tuned manual dexterity, especially in unpredictable settings. Think plumbers, electricians, specialized repair technicians.
Things that require hands-on work in the real world.
Yes. And roles built on deep personal trust and judgment calls in really fuzzy situations. Experienced nurses making critical care decisions, for instance. Artists developing truly unique visions. Or high-level strategists trying to navigate really uncertain business landscapes. Those rely on things AI isn't close to replicating yet.
So it sounds less like all jobs are doomed and much more like a shift, a big reevaluation of what skills are most valuable.
That's exactly it. The trend we're seeing points much more towards humans working with AI, the AI-augmented worker. It's about combining strengths.
And this isn't just theory, is it? People are actually doing this now.
Oh, absolutely. We're seeing it all over. Take a solo content creator, for example.
Okay.
Many are using AI tools now for things like drafting email campaigns, writing social media captions, stuff that used to take ages.
And save some time.
Easily. We hear reports of saving 10, maybe more hours a week. That's huge for a small operation. Frees them up for, the bigger picture stuff, creative strategy, actually engaging with their audience.
That's a concrete benefit. What about fields known for, well, pretty intense workloads? Like law.
Yeah, law is a great example. Lawyers are starting to use sophisticated AI like GPT-4, perhaps, to help draft initial briefs or do preliminary research on case law.
Stuff that used to take a long time.
Right. A task that might have eaten up, say, 6 hours before, now maybe gets a solid first draft done with AI assist in, 45 minutes? An hour?
Wow.
It doesn't replace the lawyer's judgment or expertise, not at all. but it radically changes the workflow, gives them back time for client interaction, for complex arguments.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant almost.
That's a good way to put it. And it's not just big law firms or tech wizards.
No.
Think about a small restaurant. We've seen examples where they use AI to help design menus, make them more appealing, or write some marketing copy for local ads.
Letting the chef focus on the food.
Exactly. Letting the chef cook, letting the front of house focus on the customer experience. AI handles some of the background noise, you could say.
That's interesting. It handles the stuff that maybe isn't the core passion or skill.
Precisely. Even in education, you're seeing experiments. Some teachers are building or using tools to create AI tutors based on their own curriculum.
To help kids who are struggling.
Yeah, to give them extra practice, personalized support outside of class time. The teacher's role then shifts more towards designing the learning journey, guiding the class, while the AI handles some of that targeted reinforcement.
So these examples, they really show AI boosting what people do, making them more productive or creative rather than just kicking them out.
That's the common thread in most current successful implementations, yes. Amplification, not just replacement.
Okay, so if this is happening now, let's fast forward a bit. What might work actually look like, say, in 2030? Are we still going to have job descriptions like we do now?
Well, the thinking is we'll probably see a move away from those rigid, static job descriptions.
Towards what?
Towards something more like skill ecosystems, where individuals bring a collection of skills to different projects rather than just fitting into one box labeled marketing manager or whatever.
So the standard 9 to 5 in one specific role might fade a bit.
It could, yeah. We might see more flexible work, more project-based stuff becoming common, and you'd be working alongside AI co-pilots, AI assistants that help you get the project done.
With the AI handling.
Maybe the routine data analysis, the scheduling, the first drafts, freeing up the human for the more strategic thinking, the creative leaps, the collaboration.
And will we see completely new jobs popping up? Things we can barely imagine now.
Oh, I think that's almost certain. We're already seeing prompt engineers emerge, right? People who are really good at talking to AI.
Right, getting the AI to do what you want.
Exactly. But you could also see roles like AI supervisor, people managing teams of AIs, ensuring they're working correctly, ethically.
Checking the AI's homework, basically.
Kind of, yeah. Or maybe even a synthetic personality designer, people who craft how AI assistants interact, their tone, their persona.
Wow. So leadership itself might change. Less about having all the knowledge yourself.
And more about knowing what questions to ask. Both of your human team and your AI tools, how do you leverage this incredibly powerful capability effectively? That becomes a key leadership skill.
And this obviously has bigger societal ripples too, right?
Absolutely. If AI starts handling a lot more of the actual production, the output, well, it inevitably fuels discussions around things like universal basic income.
And maybe even makes us ask deeper questions about, well, what's the point of work if machines are doing so much of it?
Exactly. Those philosophical questions about meaning and purpose definitely come to the surface.
Okay, this is a lot to take in. It feels big, maybe a bit overwhelming. What can people listening right now actually do today to get ready for this? What are the practical steps?
I think the absolute most important thing is mindset. Cultivating curiosity, being willing to learn constantly, adapting proactively.
Don't just wait for it to happen to you.
Right. And practically. Start playing with these tools. Go beyond just ChatGPT, if that's all you've tried.
Like what?
Explore AI image generators. Try out AI coding assistants. Even if you don't code, just see what they do. Look at no-code platforms that use AI. Get a feel for what they can and, importantly, can't do well.
Get your hands dirty, basically. Understand the tech.
Yes. And while you're doing that, double down on the human stuff.
The soft skills.
Exactly. Communication clear, empathetic communication, real collaboration, working effectively in diverse teams, ethical judgment. AI is pretty bad at nuance and genuine empathy right now. Those skills become premium.
And career-wise.
Yeah.
Is the old resume dead?
Maybe not dead, but less central.
Yeah.
Focus more on building a personal brand or a portfolio that shows you can adapt.
Yeah.
Showcase projects where you learned a new skill, where you integrated a new technology, where you handled change well. Show you're adaptable, not just that you held a certain title for X years.
Okay, so let's bring it back to where we started. That big question.
Yeah.
Will AI take your job? What's the final word for our listeners?
Well, the nuanced answer is possibly. But it's much more likely that someone using AI will take your job if you're not adapting.
Ah, that's a key difference.
It really is. The future, it seems, isn't about us versus the machines. It's about us with the machines. Collaboration, not competition.
That's a powerful note to end on. Collaboration, not competition. Thank you so much for staying with us through this pretty deep dive into AI and the future of work.
My pleasure.
If you found this conversation useful, maybe spark some ideas, we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to Everything AI.
Yeah, and maybe share it with a friend or colleague who's wondering about this stuff too.
Absolutely. And leaving a review helps other people find the show. Makes a difference.
It does.
So until our next deep dive.
Okay.
Oh, actually, next time we're going to tackle something maybe a little controversial. Should AI sound human? We'll get into the ethics of synthetic voices and digital personas.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
It should be. So until then, stay curious, stay adaptable, and remember, the future belongs to the co-creators.